Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so now we continue. Yeah. So today we will cover the Mangala suttas, right? Mangala suttas. And yeah, I think we all know that the Mangala suttas is very important suttas, right? And about the origin of these suttas, I think most of you have heard. And of course, with regard to these suttas, we all know that the God, right, the deities, for 12 years, they have tried to find out what is the meaning of Mangala, right? The meaning of blessing. And of course, it says that they couldn't find the meanings of this blessing, right? And they asked the Buddha. So Buddha told them there are 38 auspicious, right, blessing, right, sign, and that can eradicate all the evil, right? And for the benefits and welfare of the entire world. Okay, so this is briefly the suttas. And before that, someone has posted a few questions here. Okay, so before we start to analyze the Mangala Sutta, we look at some of this question. You see here, there are this line chanted as well. Okay, before the beginning of the verse, can Bhante explain homage to the Buddhas? Okay, so like in the Thai tradition, usually before any start of the the suttas chanting, they usually have this Handamayam, right? Led by the leader. Okay, so what is this? Handamayam. Buddhassa Bhagavata Pubbha Bhaga, right? Namakarang Karoma Se, right? And taking refuge also the same. Handamayam Tisarna Gamana Patang Karoma Se. Mangala Sutta, for example, you have the Handamayam Mangala suttaṃ Bhahanama Se. So, okay, so we are going to look at this. And okay, one by one. Okay, so usually this one you find in the Thai tradition, right? In their chanting, they have, the beginning led by the leader, right? So, okay, so to start with, we look at this. What is Handamayam? Buddhassa Bhagavata Pubbha Bhaganama Karang Karoma Se. Yeah, also as usual, you look at what is the verb, right? Karoma, Karoma Se. This Karoma Se, right, is the imperative, right? Imperative is a passive voice. It's a passive voice. Okay, I think for most of us, we never heard of not passive, middle voice. We never heard of middle voice, right? We all know either it's active or the passive, right? And we never heard of the middle voice. But in the ancient suttas, particularly in the the religious ceremony, you have this middle voice. Okay, so what is this middle voice? Of course, in Pali it's called Attanopada. Sanskrit is called Atmanepada. So this Attanopada, what is the meaning? Attanopada is a word for oneself. Okay, word for oneself. And whereas active voice is the word for others, like Parasapada. Parasapada is word for another. So this one is a word for oneself. So usually in the chanting those days, especially when you chant this kind of blessing, invoke the blessing, usually you will use the middle voice to invoke the blessing for oneself, for yourself, say for example, right? Whereas in the conversation, right, it's a word for others. But whereas for the chanting, they use this word for oneself, expressed in the middle voice. Okay, so this middle voice usually is ending with something like say, right? Say. Okay. So in this case, it's a imperative, right? First person, plural, right? It means that let us do, right? So this karma say has a root kr mean to do. Of course, in the case karma say, you also can say let us begin. Okay, let us begin. So this is imperative. Okay, so now once you know this, is the third, is the plural. So you're expecting the subject also in the plural. Mayang mean we, right? Here the first person, you know, plural. So the first person plural is Mayang. Mayang mean we. So you see, we will let us begin. Let us begin. You see, you can translate already. Let us begin. Begin one. Okay. Then, okay, here the object. Yeah, this is a long compound. You have the Pupa Bhaga Nama Karam. Okay. So if you split the word like this, the Pupa Bhaga. What is the meaning Pupa Bhaga? Of course, the Pupa is like first or in the past or before. Or sometimes you can translate like preliminary, right? The Bhaga means the portion or the fraction. So the whole thing you can say, you know, yeah, preliminary section. Okay, it's a then nama. Here the nama means the homage. Kara means to do the homage. Okay, so imagine when you have such a what do you call the word compound like this. Are you saying that to do the homage of the part of the beginning? Usually when do that is very clumsy. So you just say, okay, let us begin the preliminary homage. They will do, I think, preliminary homage. Okay, now you look next. Bhagavato, right? This is the genitive or dative, right? Or the Bhagavad, right? And the Buddhasa also. And of course, here the Handa. Handa here is indeclinable, right? It's like exotic emphatic particle. Like, well then, okay, now, okay, come along. You see that kind of meaning. So I would take it like now. Let us begin, right? The preliminary homage to the fortunate one, the enlightened one. Okay, so you see, to the fortunate one, to the enlightened one. So here is clearly a dative case. Okay, begin the preliminary homage is the object. Okay, so let us begin here is imperative. Here the S is the Mayang. Now here is a Handa. Okay, so this is how I translate. Okay, now you look at the second one. Handa Mayang tisarana gamanang patang karoma se. Same thing also, karoma se, we have seen this. And then the subject, right, is Mayang. So let us begin. And then tisarana gamana patang. What is patang? Patang here is like a text, right? It's a text or the passage, right? Or a reading, you know, patang. And then tisarana, T is tree, sarana is refuge. Gamana means going. Okay, going. So it's a text of going of tree refuge. Okay, if you were to translate the compound like this. And then Handa also the same thing. So now let us begin the passage or the reading or the text on going for tree refuge. Okay, here T, I didn't put it, T means tree refuge. Okay, and then the Mangala Sutta, you also find in another case, you had a Bahanama say, Bahanama. And what is a Bahanama? Of course, also, you see those ending we say is imperative middle voice, right? So it's a first person plural, right? So Akmane, here is Akmane. I use Sanskrit, it's Akmane Pada, but Atano Pada in Pāli. So the root is Bahan. Bahan means to speak, right? So I think as a beginner or Pāli students, I think you need not to worry so much about Pāli. The root, here's a root. But of course, it will be an advantage if you know the root, because as we read text more and more, we will play around, you know, a lot of derivative from the root. right? So, and you will sometimes get confused. So once you have the root, properly located, then you can basically, guess the meaning. Okay. So the root is very important. So the Bhante to speak. So you're expecting like, let us what? Let us speak, right? Or let us utter, right? And then Mangala suttas, okay? Mangala sutta, the object. And then, so let us recite or let us speak or let us utter the Mangala suttas. Okay, here's the meaning. Okay, so usually you find in the Thai tradition, they have a leader who chanted this small portion, either in the Karamase or Bhanamase. Okay, so you find these two verbs. One is let us begin, or let us speak, or let us recite. Okay, now. Then secondly, I have found variants in Bhante's note for Mangala Suttas. I've checked against few others version. Can Bhante explain the differences? Okay. Arati virati papa majapana cha sanyamo. Okay, here he referred to the sanyamo. Then the sanyamo, in fact, you also find the sanyamo. You also find the sanyamo. In fact, they are the same. Okay, it's just only because of this, what they call this euphonic combination, euphonic, the sandhi. That's why you have this variant, but either one of these is okay. Okay, so need not to worry so much. But to these parts, I think I need to show you a proper chart because I don't have the chart yet. So, and I don't want to confuse you at this moment. But since you have already asked this, or you have find variants in other texts, with different words like this, but here I show you they are all the same. Okay, they are all the same. So we need not to argue on this. And then another one, okay, tapocha brahmachari yanja arya sachana dasana arya sachana dasana. Okay, usually in my Pāli, when I want to analyze the context, okay, analyze the word, I will split them. Okay, it means that remove all the sandhi, remove all the what they call, the combination, right? So I will put the arya sachana dasana. Okay, here you look at this arya sachana. I believe some of you have checked some of the books is arya sachana dash dasana, or sometimes without dash. More proper is to put a dash to show you that this is a compound, right? So you see, in most of the cases you have a sachana dasana. That is because of the pronunciation, right? Because of the combination, especially when we are reading the verse like this, and also due to the meter, right? And they follow certain patterns, certain metric. You see, so things like arya sachanang, for them they felt a bit hard, you see. So they try to remove sachanang, then they put arya sachana dasana. That is possible. Okay, and in fact you read a lot of verses like this, they try to cut short this, cut short that. So when we analyze it, we have to restore them back, put them back. Okay, yeah. So this is another things that you need to note, right, in your learning of Pāli. Okay, and of course when we analyze, it's completely perfect, so no problem, right? But as a students who learn the Pāli, you see, I have responsible to tell you to split them, everything, split them, and to show you the possible, the compound. But in this case, it's okay. Arya Sachana Dasana. Then another one here, show you Arya Sachana Dasana. It's okay. In fact, you look at that Sachana, you see, it's already tell you that this is in the genitive. It means that the seeing of the noble truth, right? The seeing of. So this Arya Sachana is the genitive plural of the noble truth. So in order to remove this so they make it short syllable, is for the sake of pronunciation and the meter also. Okay, now wanted to ask Bhante, but miss, okay, because too long. Then please forward to Bhante. Deva verb is without gender, right? Okay, and the feminine, masculine, or neuter gender in the Pali grammar is strictly applied to grammatical construction, not the real sense of gender, sex of the Deva. Yeah, I think you are quite right, because we all know that the Devas, they're born of apparitional, right? Apparitional means they're born of spontaneous, right, or particle. And of course, they arise or reborn, spontaneously. Then, yeah, of course, you look at the Deva, right? Deva, in fact, the word Deva is an adjective. And when it is an adjective, it doesn't have the gender, right? But it qualifies the noun. If the adjective qualifies the noun, which is in the masculine, then the adjective also turn out to be masculine. For example, like Deva, right? Deva. The word Deva originally adjective, yeah, the meaning is belonging to the sky, Deva, right? So it has no gender. But if you want to qualify this Deva to a noun outside, right? Then this Deva also follow the masculine noun, right? Similarly for the feminine, right? Feminine, they use the word Devata, ta. Here the ta. Ta is a feminine ending. Okay, here. Sorry, Devata, is it? The Devata. Devata is an ending. It's an abstract suffix, right? Ta. So this abstract is like the facts of the state of being, or the state of a Deva, the condition of the Deva, right? So this one is in the feminine, right? A divinity, a divine being, but this one is in the feminine form. Just like the, I think you know Dhamma, right? Dhamma, of course, it has gender, it's masculine. But if you want to make it a feminine, you can put it like Dhammata, right? Dhammata, mean the facts of being Dhamma, right? So it becomes a feminine. Then also, this Deva also, you want to turn into the what you call the neuter gender, you can put Devatta. Okay, Devatta. Yeah, Devatta. So this Devatta, this the, okay, is an abstract suffix TTA. Okay, Sanskrit is called Tuat, TVAT, right? Tuat. But this one is Pali is TTA. So this is a neuter abstract suffix TTA. Okay. So you also can say like the state of being Deva, right? A divinity. So, okay, so it has no gender. So again, someone who asks also, what is Devi? You see, this Devi, we don't find much occurring in the Pali text, but I think the word Devi, used a lot in the Hindu context. Okay, the Devi. Yeah, so in the Buddhist context, we use a lot of the Devata, Devata, or Deva. You see? But that's okay. But occasion, you also find Devi in the Buddhist context, like Devi Mahadevi, you see. That's okay. Okay, now I think we have seen this, right? We have seen this. I think we can recite together, Pali, together. Evang me suttaṃ ekang samayang bhagava savatiyang viharati cetavane anatapindikas arame. Okay, here my explanation, right? It has been heard by me, or thus I have heard. Okay. At one time, the fortunate one was dwelling near Savatthi, the Jetavana of Anathapindika. Atako anyatara devata abhikantaya ratiya abhikantavana kevala kapang Jetavanang oba setuva yena bhagavatena upasamkami. Okay. Then next. Upasamkami tva bhagavantang abhivadetva ekamantang attasi ekamantang titakosa devata bhagavantang gataya ajabhasi. Okay, so this is the end. Okay, now we look at this. Bahudeva manosacha mangala ni achintayong akankamana sottanang bruhimangala muttamang. Here talk about 38 blessing, right? So here, okay, we look at some of the vocabulary here. Here the Bahu, okay, Deva, right? And the Manasa, right? Mangalani, Achintayo. Here, look at Achintayo is aorist, is a past tense, right? Their thought, mean they here refer to the Devas, okay? And then you have, Akankamana. Here is the present participle, Aktanopada. Here is also the middle voice, right? But now we don't not much different as compared to the active voice. So though it appears in the middle voice, but we can use in the active voice. And Sotanam, right? Bruhi, please say, right? It's imperative. And the Mangalam Uttamam. Here is in the compound already. So now I split them. Okay, here. I split all the compound. Okay, I split all the compound. Now, if I split the compound, then it's easier for me to analyze one by one. You can see clearly also, and their relationship. So first of all, try to find out the verb. Okay, here the achintayo. So it's a third person plural, right? So when it is in the third person plural, then you're expecting the subject in the nominative.
Try to we'll you and then we'll let you into the main room again.
And here nominative plural, right, together. So this Deva Manusa, they are in the Dwanda compound, mean Deva, deities and men, right, and men's. And this Bahu is adjective, right, masculine also, because they're adjective, they are qualifying them Deva Manusa. So they also agree in the case and number. So you see, here they're adjective describing the Deva Manusa. That's why I put them together here. So here you can say many devas and humans thought. Okay? Thought what? You also thought the blessing, Mangalani. So this Mangalani is in the accusative plural. Okay? So here the translation. Many God and men thought about the blessing. Right? Mangala. Okay, so here is a new term, accusative plural. Then akankamana sottanam. Here, this akankamana sottana. Here, akanka is a present participle, right? It's a middle voice, right? And as I have said, all these participle, besides they have the verbal function, right? They also an adjective, okay? Adjective describing the noun. So in this case, this akankamana is an adjective, right? Adjective describing the Deva Manusa. Okay. So what is akankamana? Akankamana means wishing, hoping. So these many gods and human, they are wishing. Here I use a wishing is because of present participle, right? Present participle. And then here, Sottana is a genitive or dative, right? And here, hoping or wishing. Wishing for what? Wishing for safety. That's why you have the dative. Okay? For the purpose of, for the sake of safety. Okay? Wishing for the sake of safety. Then Brohi Mangala Muttamam is imperative, second person, mean you. Okay? You say, Mangala Muttama. So here, what is the Mangala? What is the supreme blessing? Okay, so you can see that this Uttama is an adjective, right? Describing the Mangala. So they all agree, everything. So due to the Sandhi, Mangalang Uttama, you also can Mangala, Mangala suttaṃ. So you see the M dot here, preceded this U, this dot is removed. So you join them together. You see? So if you can read like this, Mangala suttaṃ. You see, it's very hard. Huh? You don't find it very smooth. When you pronounce like Mangala suttaṃ, then it becomes very, very smooth already. So this is what I call, in Pāli, you have such a, because of Sandhi, you apply this, apply that. So you try to link them up together. But of course, for the sake of our Pāli study, we have to know, we have to know their individual before the Sandhi apply. Okay, so please say, what is supreme blessing is? Okay, what is supreme blessing? Okay, now I have these things. So this is what I call the meter. Okay, so usually in the Pāli chanting, particularly in the verse, you notice that every verse, every sentence, they are restricted by certain numbers. You see, for example, like in ancient India, you notice that in their suttas, they were confined within 24 up to 27, within this range. Okay, why within this range? Because for their ease of their memorization. If it is too long, they cannot, right? So you will notice that, I will show one, two examples for you. In this case, I split them is for the sake of pronunciation, right? If I put a curve here, it means that it's a one syllable. I put long here is a two syllable, right? If you can calculate, short syllable one, long dash one is a two syllable, it's a long sound. So you join them out together, how many syllable you get, right? Is 24 here, right? So in this case, those days, for the ease of memorization, right? They use this standard format, okay? So you can see the importance of having this Sandhi apply here, because if possible, they try to shorten them to fit them within the syllable, okay? So in this case, I put curve is a short, here long is a short, long here the dash is a long. So you will read like Bahudeva Manosacha. So I sing already. Bahudeva Manosacha Mangalani Achintayom. Right? So here you find 24. Similarly, you look at the following one. Here you find 27. You can calculate. You can calculate. Right? So the pronoun will be Akankamana Sotanam Broki Mangala suttaṃ. In fact, this one also long. Huh? Usually the ending we put long. Here you see they put long. So here you find 27 within this range. It's just like in Malay, we had the pantun, or in Chinese, we have 4 word or 5 word or 7 word, you see, in the ancient way of learning by heart, right? So yeah, this is the patterns. So I will show you from time to time, how these, verses are composed, following these 24, 28, this kind of number of syllable. Okay, we can recite together, we try. But mute your system, but you can. Bahudeva Manosacha Mangalani Achintayom Akankamana Sotanam Broki Mangala suttaṃ. Okay. Bahudeva Manosacha Mangalani Achintayom Akankamana Sotanam Brohi Mangala suttaṃ. Okay, so nicely fixed within. Now, okay, the second verse is talking about the 30th blessing, right? So you have the Asevana, Balana, Panditana, Sevana, Puja, Pujaniyana, Etang Mangala suttaṃ. Okay, so we go straight to the grammar analysis. Okay, here, see, is enumeration. So we don't find any particular, complete sentence. It's just like enumeration. enumerate one by one. What are these 38 blessings? Okay, so you find a lot of church here also. So these are all the enclitic. Okay, the asevana balana. Here, balana. Yeah, so asevana is a nominative plural, singular, feminine. So it means the first one is not associating. Here's asevana. A means the not. Sevana means associating. Balana though is dative, but because of English translation, we eventually will use with the full. Okay, or you also can translate not associating of the full. Okay, but anyway, English require to use with. So that's okay. It's a matter of translation, right? Then this you have the Panditanang Ch here. Ch is aim, so it's enclitic use. And you have the Sevana, right? Opposite of Asevana means associating. Here, Panditanang of the wise. Okay, and because of Sandhi here, right? You find like Panditanang Ch. You split the Sandhi, become N.Ch. Okay, so I think you should get yourself familiar with this kind of structure, right? In fact, they are not variants, okay, not a variance. So it's a matter of this combination. So associating with the wise or associating of the wise, right? Puja, you have again. You see the ch here also enclitic. Puja, puja neyana. Here also puja and the dative. So the third one, n. Okay, n, right? Here the enclitic. Honoring. Right? Honoring here puja. Honoring of those people worthy of honor. Right? You want to say that. Right? Because this puja niyana is a future participle. In fact, you're describing the person who are worthy of honor. Okay, so you can add like honoring those worthy of honor. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. So, or you can say honoring of those, okay, of those people who are worthy of honor. Okay, now you look at this etang mangala muttama, here the etang. So this etang is what? Etang is a demonstrative, mean thus, right? And they are also it's also adjective describing the mangala, which is in the nominative, neuter, singular. So they all agree. You see the etam describing the mangala, uttama describing the mangala. So how's the translation would be? This is the supreme blessing, right? Etam, this is supreme, uttama blessing. Okay, so this is how you should. I think this is. I don't know whether you're familiar with all these things, right? So, if you understand like that, you find very difficult to speak in Pāli. Okay, when you speak in Pāli, every sentence you have to think, this subject that I qualified, gender, so you have to apply different gender, apply a different adjective to qualify the what they call the nouns outside. So yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. Okay, here also another one, right? Here you find 26 and 27 within that range. Okay, so asevana cha balanam panditanam cha sevana puja cha pujaneyanam etam mangala muttaṃ. Right? Okay. Asevana cha balanam panditanam cha sevanam puja cha pujaneyanam etam mangala muttaṃ. Okay, here I apply the long and short vowel. Okay, again, here the curve means short vowel represented by one syllable. And then here the say dash long here represented by 2. Okay, so this is how you pronounce the Pali. Okay, so you have to pronounce it properly. Okay, otherwise the Pali chanting will be chaos. Everyone in their own style, so that is horrible. Okay, and that's why people don't find rejoice in the chanting. Right? So if you strictly apply to these rules, you see our chanting can become very smooth and very soothing. Okay, the third, Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha, Pubecha Kata Punyatha, Atta Samma Panidhicha, Etang Mangala Muttamam. Okay, so they are all just vocabulary, right? So yeah, you look at the Kata Punyatha. Kata Punyatha is kata. Kata here is a past participle, mean done, right? Done, D-O-N-E, done. Punyatha, you see the punyatha is from punya. Punya means the merit. But you put the ta there, right, to turn into a feminine abstract noun. Okay, having done good deeds or having done the facts of the state of good deeds. Okay, this is abstract noun. It's just like dharmata, tatata, right? Suchness, the state of being good, the goodness. You see the state of being dhamma, dhamma. I mean the suchness, you see. This is the use of, the abstract noun. Okay, now we look at this, okay. Here again, you have ch, right? So they're all enclitic. It means that they have to continue saying something. So, Pati Rupa Desa Vasocha. Okay, Pati Rupa Desa Vaso. So, me here is living in a suitable place, okay. Living here, Vaso, right? Here you have Pubecha, here the cha enclitic again, and what? Kata Punyatha is a feminine, and Pube here is adverb already. Yeah, last time I told you that, adverb, how do we recognize the adverb? Usually adverbs, they are in the case of locative, accusative, instrumental, and ablative. Usually these 4 cases, will be used as an adverb. So in this case, it's a locative. So here Pube means before, right? Or past, or in the past, or formerly, that kind of meaning, right? So having done meritorious deeds in the past, okay, so here I use this, having done meritorious deeds in the past, okay, or having done meritorious deeds formerly. It depends on how you translate it. And then atta sammapadidhicha, here enclitic here, you see the enclitic. Here is from the compound, is from the atta samma panidhi, atta samma panidhi cha etta mangalam uttamam. So right aspiration for oneself. Right is because of samma. Samma means right. Okay, right. Samaditi, right view, right. Panidhi is aspiration. Atta means self. Okay, atta for oneself. So you see, you have such a compound like this, right? So you have to really interpret the compound, right? So the compound can be very straightforward, but can be very complex as well. That again depend on your knowledge of understanding of that subject. Right? That's why a lot of people arguing on this compound, because I should read the compound like this, but someone disagree with you, said that I should read the compound like that. So that is how Buddhist philosophy evolved, right? Each having their own different views, they're arguing each other's. You see, that is also mostly because the way they interpret the compound. Some interpret the compound in the genitive, some interpret the compound in the dvanda, some interpret the compound in the kamadhara. You see, so each one of them, hold rigidly, to the way of understanding, of the interpretation of that compound. So that's how, our Buddhist logic, our Buddhist philosophy, evolve. So that's why, you know, so if you once you understand this, so you don't fall into that extreme anymore. Oh. Okay, so you know what they are arguing all about. Then eta Mangala suttaṃ. So this is a supreme blessing. Okay, so I will explain that. Yeah, so I leave that exercise for you, right? Okay, now you look at this. Okay, if you look at this, pati rupa desa vasocha pubecha kata punyata. How many syllables you expecting? Can you write in the in the chat box? Okay. How many? The first one, the first part, pada rupa, antap the kata punyata. Okay, you write the number there. Let me see. Okay. Some say 25, some say 27. What? So which one is correct? Okay. No, it's impossible. 14. Okay. Okay. I tell you how to count the syllable. Right? Let's say pa, PA is a short, so it's a 1. TI is 1. RU is long, so it's 2. PA is 1. DE, this is long, so it's 2. SA 1. VA, this one is long, is 2. SO is 2. Ch is 1. Pubbe, PUB is 2. BE is 2. Ch is 1. Kata is 1. Ka and ta is 1, 1. Pun, PUN is 2. And so how many? Oh, there are so many different, quite variant in numbers. Okay, the correct one is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so it's a 25. Then the second part. Okay. How many? The second part. Write down the number. Okay, 22, 18, 23. Wow. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, I saw one Vietnamese one. Duyen. Yeah, 25 is correct. So here, the third verse, the first part you have 25, and the second part you have 25. You see, so this is how you look at it, right? So they are within that range. Okay, 24, 25, 26, 27. Right, so that's okay for the ease of the pronunciation, right? So we can read together. Pati rupa desa vasocha pubecha kata punyatam atta samma panindicha tang mangala suttaṃ. Sorry, because I didn't join them. No, this one is not proper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. The second part is 24. Okay, not 25. Okay, because of the Mangala suttaṃ. Okay, Mangala suttaṃ. You put this MUT together, right? MUT together. So yeah, correctly it's 24, not 25. But of course, because this one I already split the Sandhi, so it becomes 25. But in the real chanting proper, right, it's 24. Okay, yeah, good attempt. Okay, so these are vocabulary. Bahu Satchang, Resipang, Vinayo, Susikito, Subhasita, Ya, Vacha, right? Yeah, okay, so these are noun, and you look at the Susikito. It's a past participle, right? It's from the su and sikato. Hey, am I? Sikito, not sikato. I've already made a mistake here. Susikito. So I make a mistake here. So here, su is well, right? Sikito is a well-trained, right? TED, well-trained. And similarly, subhasita is also PP, right? Past participle, su and bhasita, right? So well-spoken or well-said. Just like earlier, you have seen like sugata, sugata is also PPP, well-gone, right? Well-born like sujata, right? Well-born like sujata. You see, so this su is a prefix to mean well. Okay. And here the ya vacha here is a relative pronoun, okay? Adjective describing the vacha. Okay. You see again, you have the ch. Okay, so they are different. So bahusacham is here. You see, you look at the sandhi, right? Here I already split the sandhi, but before the sandhi you have the sachangcha, right? Sachangcha. So the sipangcha, right here also the same thing, right? Usually you will find this in your chanting book, right? But this one is for the sake of our analysis. And you have like having great learning, right? And then craft, right? Craft. And then vinayocha susikito. Okay. So you see this vinayo susikito. You see susikito adjective to the vinaya. Adjective. So you are talking about the well-trained discipline. Okay, or someone who's disciplined, is well trained. Okay, so yeah, being disciplined, right, well trained. I mean, this is just one of the many translation, right? Like I've said, you see, well trained, discipline also came, right? So you are taking well trained adjective to describe the vinaya. So it's well trained, discipline. Okay. And then subhasitacha yavacha. Okay, here also the same thing also. So you see the subhasita is adjective describing the vacha, right? It means that well said the word, right? And then you have the relative pronoun ya, also describing the vacha. So you say whatever words that are well spoken of. Okay. Whatever word. Here the whatever is ya. Okay, describing whatever words that are well spoken adjective is from the subhasita, sita. So that's why they all agree with their gender, case, and number. Okay, all describing the vacha. Then etang Mangala suttaṃ. This is the supreme blessing. Okay. So I won't give you any task to count the number. Okay, now we'll look at the next. Mata pitu pata. Okay, you see here again, you look at this. Mata pitu. Usually in most of the chanting book, because of dash here, I split the sandhi, right? Usually they join them. Mata pitu patana. Okay, mata pitu patanang, right? Buddha darasa sangaho anakula chakamanta etang mangala suttaṃ. Okay, so the mata pitu, right? Mata pitu, upatana. So usually you split the sandhi, that is also because of the syllable, right? If the syllable is shorter a bit, your pronunciation also somehow you got stuck. Not that smooth, right? So we are like, playing around the numbers so that our chanting can become very smooth, right? Just like when I said, Mata pitu upatanang, right? Mata pitu upatanang, right? Or Mata pitu patana. You can see a difference? Mata pitu upatanang. Another way is Mata pitu patanang. It's somehow short one syllable. Let's make the sounds like truncated. Not that smooth. Okay. I mean, this is just one of the possible. So nobody can say you are wrong because you are very accurate, in your compound, right? You can split the compound, you can join the compound, depending on the meter. Okay. Okay, now look at the grammar. Yeah. Upatana, the whole thing is compound, right? Nominative, right? So the attendant on mother and father. Yes, like yesterday, someone said, looking after. That is also okay because upatha also has that meaning, like looking after, right? Looking after. So you see, this is a compound. Like mata pitu is a dwanda, like father and mother. Upatana. The mata pitu and upatana, this is a genitive type purusha. It's like, looking after of parents, of father and mother, right? Putta darasa sangaho. Yeah. Okay, here you have this, asa is a genitive, right? So here is like looking after wife and children. Okay, looking after of wife and children, right? Here also you can say like the mata pitu patana. You see, all these things because of the sandhi, right? And the meter also. Anakula cha kamanta. Here you have cha and anakula, right? Describing the kamanta and words that are not agitating, right? Words that are not agitating. Anakula has the meaning of is an and akula, right? Not agitating. When you talk about not agitating, you are referring, you have to, how to say, do a proper career, right? Leading a right livelihood, right? Meaning right livelihood means, you're not involving in killing, involving in selling the liquor, right? So all these things. So yeah. But anyway, our translation is meant for, the literal translation. Yeah, so I use a word that are not agitating, not disturbing. Etam Mangala suttaṃ. Okay, so this is a supreme blessing. Then another one, Dhanancha Brahmacharya Nyatakanancha Sangaho Anavajani Kammani Etam Mangala suttaṃ. Okay, yeah, not much here. It's just only vocabulary to learn. So we go straight to the analysis. Yeah, again, you have the ch. Okay, we analyze, right? Dana, Danancha is also because, we split the sandhi, right? Danancha, so it's giving. Brahmacharya, right? Living by Dhamma, okay? Living by Dhamma. Acharya, or you also can say, Charya also can mean what they call the conduct, can mean the practice, okay? Then the Dhamma here means the righteous conduct or righteous practice, okay? Here, living by Dhamma, just because I take it literally, but you need not to worry so much. You see, there are all kind of translation available, but I think we have to be accurate when we do things, literally, right? Then Nyatakanancha Sangaho, right? Here is the nominative singular. Nyatakanang is the genitive plural, right? So here also because of sandhi, yeah. So here, looking after relative. Looking after relative. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, looking after relative when they are in difficulties, we should try our best to help them, right? And anavajani kammani. Okay, here anavajani, right, is adjective qualified the kammani, so it's a blameless, okay, action, kamma. So actions that are blameless or blameless, okay. Wait again. Yeah, you can say the blameless action, right? Just simply blameless action. So the blameless is an adjective describing the action. And this is the supreme blessing. So how many altogether now? We look at the 17. Okay. Arati. Arati virati papa majapana cha sanyamo apamado cha dhammesu etang mangalamottamang. Okay, so yeah, these are all different vocabulary. So yeah, we go straight to analysis.
Bhante?
Yes?
The share screen is off.
Off.
Yeah.
Ayo. Host disable participant screen sharing. I already shared, but I think some host has disabled it already. It's not my setting.
Brother Sam, can you try again, Bhante?
Okay. Oh, now okay.
Yep. Can see already.
Okay. Majapana cha sanyamo, right? Yeah, earlier I have said, right, sanyamo you also find in sanyamo, right? YAMO and sanyamo. They are also the same, huh? So don't need to worry so much. They are just only due to the euphonic, right? Combination. Okay, so virati, papa, right? So the abstinence, okay, the arati, right? And virati is also avoidant, right? From, yeah, the papa is ablative. So ablative means from. So you have the abstinence from the evil thought and the avoidant from the bad deeds. Okay, so here the avoidant from the bad deed here mainly referred to the physical and the bobo action. Okay, those physical and vocal, you know, the vocal bad action. And in Manchapana, here the sanyamo. Sanyamo is a restraint, right? Restraint, and then Manchapana is ablative, right? From the intoxicating drinks. So restraint from the intoxicating drinks. Okay. And then you have apamado, cha dhammesu here, enclitic cha. Here is the locative, right? So being heedful, apamado, being heedful, with regard to all dhamma, right? Regarding all things, right? So this is the highest blessing. Okay, so very fast now we go to 21 blessing. Yeah, regarding all things, being heedful regarding all things. So how do you want to understand this? Being heedful regarding all things, it means that we should not be, you know, neglecting, you know, the wholesome action, right? So it means that we pay attention, right? Not neglect, you know, the wholesome action. So Garavo cha nivato cha san toti cha katanyutam kalena dhamma savana etang mangalamottamang. Okay, so they are all different vocabulary, right? Garavo. Here you look at kalena, right? Kalena is from kala, right? So here used as an adverb, it's instrumental. So if it is instrumental, means with the time, right? But you use an adverb, then you can say at the proper time, okay? Or timely, that's also okay, right? Okay, so the meaning, garavo cha nivato cha, right? Here, garavo, being respect, being humble, nivato, santuti, contentment, katanyota, right? Katanyu. In fact, katanyu, right, is a noun. We put the ta here to turn into the feminine abstract. Okay, the facts of being gratitude. Okay, but anyway, that's okay. Gratitude. The state of gratitude. And kalena dhammasavanam means listening to dhamma timely or at the proper time, at the right time. So etang mangala suttaṃ. So this is the supreme blessing. Okay. Then number 9, kanti cha sovacha satha samananam cha dasanam kalena dhamma sakacha etang mangala suttaṃ. Also, you have the word like kalena, right, at the proper time. Dhamma sakacha is discussing dhamma at the right time. Okay, here sovacha sattha. Sovacha sattha is from su, vacha sattha, easily spoken to. Okay. Now we look at this. Right? Kanti, sovacha sattha, right? Being patient, easily spoken to. Okay, easily spoken to. What is the meaning? Easily spoken to. It means that one who is obedient, right? So I think that kind of meaning, okay, obedient. Someone who is very obedient, sovacha sattha. And samana nanchadasana, here the cha is also enclitic, right? So the seeing, okay, of the genitive of the samanas, okay, here the monks, the seeing of monks, okay. So don't avoid seeing the monks, okay, because that is not a good blessing. So seeing monk is one of the greatest blessing. Okay. Kalena dhamma sakacha. Okay. Yeah, the samana nancha is also because the sandhi and seeing of ascetics, rasakacha. Here, discussing dhamma sakacha, dhamma sakacha, right? Discussing dhamma at the right time, and this is the supreme blessing. Okay. When talking about this, seeing the monks, that remind me of different culture. Like in Thailand, in a very early morning, you see they like to see the monk because that remind them to do good deeds. So usually monks will go out in the early morning, you go for pindapat. So reminding the lay people, to prepare some food and offer. You see, it means that in the very early morning, they will do good deeds. That remind them to go to do good deeds. Yeah. So, whereas in our Chinese community, if they see the monks with botak head, they will say that come here to suicide lah. Okay, I leave it to interpret. Tapocha Brahmacharyancha Arya Sachana Dasanam Nibbana Satchikiriyacha Etang Mangala suttaṃ. Okay, so here you have different words, right? Brahmacharya. Okay, Brahmacharya, living spiritually or lead a holy life, right? What is meant by holy life? When you talk about the holy life, means you're observing the fasting, right? And basically, at precept is a holy life, right? It is a holy life of an arahat, of the noble sage, right? So you follow their life, right? Observing the fasting. So that kind of life is Brahmacharya. And Arya Sachana Dasana Nibbana Satchikiriyacha. Okay, here. Arya Sachana Dasana. Here also you have the same thing also. Here the M dot, right, is not necessary. You just put Arya Sachana Dasana. But it's understood this Sachana is in the genitive, right? But because they are already in the sandhi, so I put dash to show they are in the compound. So the seeing of the Arya, the noble truth, Arya. Tapocha Brahmacharyancha, okay, in Kritik. Here also again, you have Brahmacharyancha. Austere, right, and living spiritually, or living a holy life, okay, or leading a noble life, right, and the seeing of, right, of noble truth, okay, or the insight sometimes, right, and then Nibbana Satchikiriyacha here in Kletik, right, and the realization of Nibbana, right? So realization of Nibbana. So this is the highest blessing. Next. Utthassa loka dhammehi chittam yasana kampati asokam virajam khemam etam mangala muttamam. Okay. So here basically it's just a word, right? Utthassa. Utthassa is a past participle, right? It's a genitive here. The past participle also use an adverb, and right. And if there is no noun qualifying, the word itself also can be used as, right, as a adjective, right? Or it has a verbal function also. But in this case, right, this past participle is used as genitive absolutive. Okay, here G and genitive, ABS means absolutive. Okay, genitive absolutive or locative absolutive. You don't know what is this? Okay, you go and find English grammar dictionary. Hard to tell you all these things, but anyway, it's, I think, not that difficult to identify, you know, the structures of Pali. You look, you know, one of the easiest method to recognize forming this absolutive is to look at the noun, okay, to look at this participle, because this is a participle. If this participle is in the genitive, right? And of course, there's no noun outside there, but we assume this is the genitive absolutive. When it is in the genitive absolutive, we take it like when it is touched, or when it is affected, or when it is influenced by, that kind of meaning. Okay, so we can translate. But anyway, if you want to know more about this, we have to read more text. Then you will come to know. Sometimes the verse is too terse, too short. You see, not enough to explain everything here. But anyway, you just bear in mind that this is the form of forming this genitive absolutive. Loka dhammehi is instrumental, right? The chitana kampati asokang. Okay, so now we go to the next. Utthassa loka dhammehi chitang yasana kampati. Okay, here the kampati is a verb, right? It's from the root kam, to tremble. No kampati means does not tremble. Okay, and the yasa here is the subject. The mind does not tremble. Okay, so here is here is what do you call this? The verb doesn't take the object. So here you don't need to have an object. It's just like the sun rises. Okay, so there is no object, right? So the mind is tremble. There is no object, right? So the chitta, and this yasa is a relative pronoun. Relative pronoun mean their mind. Okay, their mind, or whose mind, right? Whose mind, here yasa. Okay, so here the yasa is a relative pronoun. So whose, right, is a genitive. So whose mind does not tremble, or one whose mind does not tremble. Okay, yeah, one whose mind does not tremble. Does tremble. You put tassa, here is genitive, right? Genitive absolutive. So when, here my translation would be, when it is touched, right? When it is touched, or when it is influenced. Loka dhammehi is instrumental plural, by things of the world, right? By things of the world. But usually when you talk about the thing of the world, when it is not touched by thing of the world, you are referring to adwins. Okay, adwins mean they are the mundane, you know, disturbances, okay, the fame, reputation, all these things. Asoka and Virajam Kema, they are all describing the mind, okay. So that's why they all agree with the case, gender, and number. What is Asoka? Asoka means the grieveless, Viraja means dashless, Kemang means the secure. You see? This is just another state of Nibbana. You see, the Nibbana is the state of grieveless, state of dashless, is a state of secure. This is the supreme blessing. Okay? The last one, Etta desani katuana sabbat maparajita sabbat soting gachanti tang tesang mangala suttaṃ. Okay. Okay, now, we look at this. Okay, the katwa is a gerund, right? It's from the krutudu, having done. Etta desani, it means of such kind. Okay, having done of such kind. Of such kind means what? You are referring to having done that 38 blessing. Okay. Here, of course, here etta desani, right? Here is describing the Mangalam. Mangalam. Of those Mangalam. So Sabata Maparajita, undefeated everywhere. Okay, when you talk about undefeated, what is undefeated? Okay, undefeated mean victorious lah, victorious. Okay, everywhere. And Sabata soting gachanti. Here, the gachanti is the third person plural. Okay, so the subject means they, right? I understood the subject. They go everywhere. The sabata is a verb. Sorting in safety. So here, sorting here is in the accusative, but now used as an verb already. So I translate in safety. So they go everywhere in safety. Tang tesang mangala suttaṃ, right? Here, we have seen this part. Okay, now we look at another part. Here, tesang, tang tesang. Tesang means the person pronoun, is genitive plural. So for them. Okay, for them. So tang mean is tang is like a connected particle, mean that which, okay, right? Or that is, right? So it is a connected particle, right? The supreme blessing for them. Or that is their supreme blessing. Okay, so this is the end of the Mangala Suttas. So it's quite fast, but I find it interesting, right? And don't worry, because all these things will be given to you. So, but anyway, there is never end in learning. Huh? So don't think after this, you become good in Pali anyway. And of course, this Pali is called Pali guide. You are properly guided to read the Pali text. Okay. Properly guided means you are properly guided with analysis, with the syntax, with their relationship. Everything is properly guided. Okay, so I hope you can follow what I have taught here. Okay, so is there a question?
Hi, Bhante. Thank you.